And there's Hannah, and that is a good way to pick up the 6-10 right there. That's textbook. All right, so with the end of Gordon's frame, it's now 4 strikes for Norristown in the 8th frame. And they lead it so far 780 to 641 do the boys. So that's good news for them as they're moving towards the 9th frame here. And right now the girls are down to the Lady Hatters here, 417 to 408. As Sarah Kinsey, chops out that spare. All right, that'll bring up Zach Holock, who is on lane 43. Has the 2-5. And Zach converts. All right, that'll bring up Matt Grayowski for the Eagles. He's working on a strike in the 8th frame. And Sarah McKeever misses her spare conversion there. Tough break for the girls. And Matt Grayowski comes in light. All right, Chris Schonk says he has a double up on the board, but he doesn't. He's left with the 8-pin, so they'll have to correct that. During the short break there, I was talking to anchor bowler for Norristown, Gordon Murphy, and describing the lane conditions and the transition now. We'll get into the next game a little bit about how the lane conditioner, the lane oil as we call it here in the business, that really affects how bowlers perform after a while, because the lane conditioner is there for 2 reasons. It's there to protect the lane surface, but in other ways it's also there to make the shots a little bit more difficult so that bowlers don't get strikes as easily. It reduces the amount of friction that the bowling ball can find on the lane to create hook, and friction creates hook in a bowling ball. It's a property of physics. As Mike Holt adds another strike to the board, that's 6 in a row for him. So the more lane conditioner that's on the lane, the less friction there is available for a bowling ball to hook. The less oil, the more the bowling ball is going to bite the lane surface and hook. So as the lanes start to dry up, there's going to be a lot more friction, and the ball's going to hook a lot more, so the adjustments are going to be necessary. And as we see Gordon flush in the pocket there, boy, he's getting a better spin roll and lift than I've seen ever, and he adds another strike to the board. All right, Zach Holock in the 10th frame has the 4-pin up. For the girls, Sarah Kinsey will be working on an open frame now in the 8th frame on lane 46. And Zach Holock converts his 4-pin. He'll get an extra frame. Great ball. by Sarah Kinsey on 46. Nice strike. All right, here's Zach Holock. And he gets a strike. So Zach finishes his first game with a 214. And here's Matt Grayowski. And boy, that 6-pin just lays DOA right there in the gutter and does not come out and get the 10. So he'll be faced with a 10-pin shot here. Let's see if he makes the adjustment off his last one. He really pulled the last one in. So Matt will stand to the left. He's near that ball return, as you can see. And Matt converts. A very nice job there. He's got 195 so far. He'll get an extra turn in the 10th frame. Norristown leading in this game so far. The boys are 937 to 746 total against Hatboro Horsham. And here's Matt's second shot. He comes in a little bit light. Gets 7, finishes with a 202. So that'll bring up Christopher Schock. Hatboro Horsham boys are maintaining their own, but they're not marking, and when I mean by mark, getting a strike or spare. The marks have been all over the place. They've had a lot of open frames. So the Hatters have struggled here early in the first game, but that doesn't mean that they can't find the line within the second game. All right, Chris Schock's shot on the 4-pin here is on target on lane 44. So Chris will get an extra turn here. Potential 161 for Chris with a strike here. And comes in, leaves the 4, 6, 7, 10, or as we like to call it, the big 4. But luckily he doesn't have to shoot that, as it is the end of the game. 157 is the final score in the first game for Chris Schock. And Michael Holt working on 6 in a row. Make it 7. Mike is not ready to stop throwing strikes here, as he has 240 now. And let's see if he can. He'll have 2 extra shots now here in the 10th frame. Oh, that was perfect. Had enough power on the ball. Good lift. And all 10 go down. Potential 270. For Michael Holt. Wasting no time at all, gets up and the 5-pin falls out late, and he'll have a 269. So Mike Holt finishes with a 269. Not a bad first game to have at all. Sarah Kinsey up now for the girls, shooting in the 9th frame. And that's flush in the pocket for a strike, and she has a double up, and Gordon Murphy will finish for the boys. Boys are shooting over 1,000 for the first game. Ooh, powerful shot from Gordon. Make that 3 in a row. And Gordon Murphy is focused at this point. All right, and then there's a strike there for Justin Platt as he's finishing up in his 10th frame as the anchor bowler for the Hatboro. And Gordon Murphy, another powerful shot in the pocket, and he's now got 4 in a row. Potential 246 with another strike here. Justin Platt for Hatboro can shoot 214 with a strike in his 10th frame. And Gordon gets them all to go once again. 246 is his final game. So some good first game scores. Justin Platt finishes with a 214 for Hatboro. Final total is 1088 for Norristown, 843 for Hatboro. That's the game one. So Norristown wins game one. We'll be back for a recap of the girls' game and the second game of the boys right after this. All right, Zach Hollock starting up game two for Norristown. Norristown boys have won game one over the Hatboro Horsham Hatters. 1088 to 843, and then they'll start their second game as the girls are still finishing out their first game. And Sarah Kinsey on lane 46 has a big split there, the big four, the 4-6, so 7-10. Sarah gets the 6-10. And Zach Hollock missed his spare, so he has 9 for his first frame, and that'll bring out Matt Grayowski. For the boys team here. Matt's faced with a split here early on. And the Hatters already have a mark trying to work on another error in the first frame. And Sarah McKeever for the girls. You hear a lot of noise there in their 10th frame. Strike. Sarah Kinsey has a 184 for her final score of the game. Let's see. Matt Grayowski splits them both. Boy, Matt Grayowski, great shot there as he is able to pick up the split. Good for him as he starts off with a mark in this first frame. Here comes Chris Schock, who has really been working on his game throughout the season, is faced with the 6-pin. All right, Chris on lane 44 goes for the 6 and converts. So Norristown has 2 marks now in the first frame. That'll bring up Michael Holt coming off 269 his last game. Let's see if he can continue. Mike rolls it in the pocket. And Mike's back on his striking ways. And that'll bring up Gordon Murphy. Ooh, Gordon just does not get the pin carry there and is left with the 7 pin. That was a pretty good shot, just a little bit late in the pocket. But Gordon has to think now about making the 10 pin, the 7 pin, excuse me. And Gordon converts. Anybody can throw strikes, folks, but picking up spares is a different case. It's nice to see the high scores and everything with what strikes bring along, but it is also quite honorable to be a good spare shooter as well. And Zach Hollock is faced with a 2 pin there, and he'll have to make his conversion. As Brenton Ferris there for the Hatters comes in late and leaves what we call the bucket. The 3-5-6-9. Let's see if can Ferris convert, and he does. Smooth left-hander is Brent Ferris for the Hatters. Here he is, Matt Grayowski, and he is in the pocket with a strike. Spare strike now for Grayowski in his first 2 frames. That'll bring up Chris Schock. He's working on a spare, shooting in the 2nd frame. Tyler Cruz up on lane 44 for the Hatters. Another smooth left-hander. I really like Cruz's style. He's very smooth, very solid at the foul line. Leaves the 6-10. Chris Schock answers with his own strike. Brenton Ferris and Tyler Cruz for the Hatters have really, I think, a great smooth left-handed style. A little off balance there was Cruz, but he converts. And Michael Holt throws a strike. So that's a double for Mike in the 2nd frame as we bring up Gordon Murphy. The girls are finishing out their match right now, and they're leading at 726 to 697. Anna Bogadane has left herself with the 8-10 split. This is Krista Walton is up shooting for the Hatters. Leaves the 5 pin, and Gordon Murphy comes in light. Two, 4, 5, 8. The bucket for a right-hander, and Gordon Murphy picks it up, so he's spare. Sean Burns now shooting, and boy, he really was to the left of that 6 pin. He kind of just laughs it off. All right, the girls' match is finished up. Norristown wins game 1 of the girls' match, 728 to 706. Scores look pretty good up there. Sarah Kinsey, 184. Sarah McKeever, 124. Ashley Harrell, 119. Catherine O'Connor, 109. And Hannah Bogadane with a 192. So again, girls win the first match, 728 to 706. As Zach Hollock is shooting now in the 3rd frame, leaves a split, 5-10. All right. Brenton Ferris is up on lane 43. He's got a 5 pin to contend with. And Brent Ferris converts his 5-pin spare. Here's Zach Holak. He's going to try to slide it over, and it just goes behind the 10-pin. But he gets count, and that's what's important early on, is getting pin count. And that's an open frame for Zach Holak. That'll bring out Matt Grayowski. And Matt strikes. Unbelievable. I like this young man right now. I'm telling you, he can throw strikes. He has just a dynamite form, I think, at this point. Has enough leverage at the foul line to make good shots. And Chris Schock, that's 2 in a row for him, as he strikes now in the 3rd frame, and that brings up Mike Holt, working on a double. Smooth roll there from Michael Holt, and he leaves almost the back row. I have never, I haven't seen that in a while. The 5-7-10, the back row. Luckily that falls out, but still Michael Holt is faced with the blot 7-10 split. Wants to throw it straight and hard at the 10-pin, try to get that 10-pin to bounce. Does not. He gets one. Count is important. Well, that would have been interesting, trying to see Michael trying to shoot and convert the 5-7-10. All right, Gordon Murphy working on a spare up and now in the 3rd frame. Gordon shreds all 10 pins and tries to get this Norristown team working again there. They're slowed down after last game. Just a bit as the lanes start to transition. The girls have started their 2nd game. All right, here's Justin Platt for the Hatters on lane 43. He's in the pocket. 3 in a row for him. That's Turkey up in the 3rd frame. And Brenton Ferris will be shooting now on lane 44 for the Hatters. And Zach Holak will be bowling on lane 43. Zach Holak on an open frame, answers back. It's a strike. Good ball from Zach. All right, here's Brenton Ferris. He has a spare there in the 4th frame. So nice conversion there by the smooth lefty of Hatboro Horsham. Another smooth lefty coming up now. Tyler Cruz on lane 44. And Matt Grayowski, another strike. He's really looking smooth in this game. Stone 7-pin there for Tyler Cruz. And Chris Schunk starts with a strike. So that's 2 players now for Norristown have 3 strikes in a row in the 4th frame. And Michael Holt will be coming up for Norristown as Cruz converts the 7-pin. Anna Bogading going for the 6-10, converts Sarah Kinsey now up on lane 45 and strikes for the girls. So the girls are trying to continue their winning ways here as Hatboro Horsham has put up 4 strikes for 5 bowlers in the first frame of their second game. Coming back to the boys though, Gordon Murphy working on a strike, 4th frame. Lane 43. And again, the ball just a little bit light in the pocket, leaves the 7. All right, Justin Platt for Hatboro Horsham up on lane 44. And Gordon converts on the 7-pin. Justin Platt working on 3 strikes in a row. And that string will come to an end there as he's high and leaves the 3-6-10. By far not a gimme for any player. Gotta hit this one just right. And right there, that's what you don't want to do, is chop off the 3-6 and leave the 10-pin there. And that's why it's not the easiest spare to shoot for a right-hander. Here's Brenton Ferris, who's in light. I noticed Brenton is really turning his body. His right foot, his sliding foot, is turning almost parallel to the foul line. And Zach Hollock has put another strike on the board, and now here's Matt Grajowski coming up now in the 5th frame, working on 3 in a row. And Ferris converts. So mark up for him in the 5th frame. So Matt Grajowski comes in high, leaves the 6-10.